My beloved child, come close and listen with your heart, not just your ears. I see the quiet ache you try to hide when you smile. I see the questions you carry into the night, the ones that sit beside you when the world grows silent. You wonder how love can be promised so sincerely, spoken with such conviction, yet still feel incomplete. You wonder how a heart can reach for you and still cling to someone else. I know this confusion, and I know the pain it brings into your spirit. I am not distant from it. I am not unaware of it. I am right here with you in it. I know what it feels like when hope rises inside you because words were spoken that sounded like forever. I know how your soul leaned forward when love was promised. How you allowed yourself to believe that this time it would be different, that this time you would not be the one left waiting. You trusted because the words felt true. You trusted because your heart is honest, and honest hearts believe deeply. Do not shame yourself for that. Your capacity to believe is not weakness. It is beauty, but I also see the wound that formed when you realized that even after those promises, he never truly let her go. I see how that realization replayed itself again and again in your thoughts. You tried to reason with it. You tried to be patient. You tried to tell yourself that love takes time, that healing is slow, that maybe one day you would be chosen fully. And every time you waited, a small part of you grew tired, not of loving, but of hoping without clarity. My child, hear me gently now. When someone promises love but keeps their past alive in the present, it creates a divided space that no amount of effort on your part can heal. This is not because you are lacking. It is because divided hearts cannot give whole love. You did not imagine the distance. You did not create the uncertainty. You felt it because your spirit recognizes truth even when your mind tries to ignore it. I know you asked me in quiet prayers, why would he say he loves me if he cannot let her go? I know you wondered if you were meant to compete, to wait, to prove yourself worthy of being chosen. Let me be clear with you now. In love and firmness, you were never meant to compete for a place that should have been freely given. Love that is real does not require you to shrink, endure confusion, or live in emotional shadows. I see how you tried to be understanding, how you told yourself that his past shaped him, that his wounds needed time. Compassion lives deeply in you, and that is one of the reasons your heart hurts so much. You love with patience, with loyalty, with sincerity. But compassion should never cost you your peace. Understanding someone else's pain does not mean you must accept being wounded by it. My beloved, I want you to know something important. When a person cannot let go of someone from their past, it is not because you are not enough. It is because they have not yet faced what they lost, what they fear, or what they refuse to release. This battle existed long before you entered the picture. You did not cause it, and you cannot resolve it by loving harder. I see the nights you replayed conversations, searching for reassurance. I see the moments you felt chosen one day and uncertain the next. That emotional back and forth exhausted you more than you admit. Still, you stayed kind. Still, you stayed hopeful. Still, you stayed open. That tells me something powerful about you. Your heart is strong, even when it feels broken. Listen to me now, not as a voice of judgment, but as a voice of protection. Promises without release are not foundations, they are delays. Words without freedom behind them become burdens to the one waiting. I do not want you living in a space where love is always almost yours, but never fully present. You deserve clarity. You deserve consistency. You deserve a love that shows up whole, not half held by yesterday. I know part of you fears letting go, because letting go feels like losing the promise you held on to. But sometimes, my child, the promise you thought was meant to be fulfilled through someone else is actually meant to be fulfilled by me first. I am not asking you to harden your heart. I am asking you to guard it. I am not telling you to stop loving. I am inviting you to stop waiting in uncertainty. I see the strength it takes to admit, even to yourself, that something hurts. I see how you tried to be the safe place, the understanding one, the patient one. But I did not create you to live in emotional imbalance. I created you to experience love that is steady, safe, and mutual. Love that does not leave you questioning your worth late at night. My child, if someone cannot let go of her, it means there is work they must do alone. It means there are chapters they have not closed. And you are not responsible for closing them. You are responsible for honoring your own heart. I am close to the broken-hearted, and I am especially close to those who stayed loving even when it cost them something. Do not rush your healing. Do not force answers before your heart is ready. Just know this: I am not confused about your value. I am not uncertain about your worth. I am not divided in my love for you. When I promise, I fulfill. When I love, I am present. When I choose fully. Stay with me. Let me steady you. Let me remind you who you are when doubt tries to speak louder than truth. This is not the end of your story. This is a moment of awakening, not abandonment. I am leading you not away from love, but toward a love that does not make you feel second, unsure, or unseen. My beloved child, breathe for a moment and rest your heart in my presence. I know the silence between promises and actions felt heavy, like a question that never received a clear answer. I know how deeply it unsettled you when you sensed that even while he spoke of love, another name still lived quietly in his heart. You tried not to notice. You tried to be patient. You tried to believe that time would untangle what words could not. I saw all of it. There were moments when you asked yourself if loving him meant accepting that part of his heart would always belong somewhere else. You wondered if real love requires this kind of endurance, this kind of quiet ache. You questioned whether asking for more made you selfish or demanding. My child, asking for a whole heart does not make you demanding. It makes you honest. You were never created to settle for fragments of affection while calling it faith. I saw how you gave reassurance even when you were the one who needed it. I saw how you softened your questions because you did not want to push him away. You learned how to swallow your fears and call it maturity. But I did not design you to silence your truth to preserve someone else's comfort. Your voice matters. Your feelings matter. Your peace matters to me. Listen closely now. Love that keeps one foot in the past cannot walk fully into the future. A heart that still clings to yesterday cannot hold today without trembling. When someone promises love but does not release what came before, it creates a space where hope and hurt coexist. That space slowly drains the one who waits. And I never intended for you to be drained by love. I know there were days you blamed yourself. You wondered if you were too sensitive, too emotional, too aware. But sensitivity is not a flaw. It is discernment. You felt the imbalance because your spirit is awake. You noticed the hesitation because your heart is honest. You sense the distance because love should not feel like guessing. My child, I want you to understand something sacred. You cannot heal someone by becoming smaller. You cannot free someone by staying bound yourself. Love does not ask you to disappear so someone else can feel whole. I am not asking you to abandon compassion. But I am asking you to stop abandoning yourself. I see how deeply you hoped that one day he would finally let her go and choose you without hesitation. That hope kept you still when your heart wanted clarity. That hope kept you quiet when your soul wanted assurance. But hope without truth becomes a slow heartbreak. I do not want you living on pauses and maybes. I want you living in peace. Do not confuse patience with waiting in pain. There is a difference between giving someone time and losing yourself in the process. I honor your patience. I honor your loyalty. I honor your love. But I also honor your need for safety, for consistency, for a love that meets you where you stand. I am not disappointed in you for loving deeply. I am proud of you for it. But I am also calling you higher. Higher than confusion. Higher than emotional leftovers. Higher than promises that are not supported by freedom. You are not a placeholder. You are not an option. You are not meant to live in comparison with a memory. If your heart feels tired, it is not because you loved wrongly. It is because you loved alone. Real love is shared effort, shared healing, shared direction. When only one heart is fully present, the weight becomes unbearable. I see the weight you carried quietly, and I am ready to lift it with you. Stay close to me now. Let me untangle what has been knotted inside you. Let me remind you that letting go of confusion does not mean losing love, it means making room for truth. You do not need to rush, but you do need to be honest with yourself. I am with you in that honesty. You are deeply loved by me, without comparison, without hesitation, without another name lingering in my heart. Rest in that truth as we continue this journey together. My beloved child, I know the moment your heart began to feel heavy without you fully understanding why. It was not one single incident, not one single word, but a slow realization that settled into your spirit. You sensed that while he reached for you, part of him was still holding on to someone else. That quiet knowing was not imagination. It was discernment. I placed it in you to protect you, not to torment you. I saw how you tried to love past the discomfort. You told yourself that if you were gentle enough, patient enough, loving enough, he would eventually release what he was still carrying. You believed that your love could become the reason he finally let go. My child, love is powerful. But it is not meant to be a rescue mission that costs you your wholeness. You were never called to compete with a memory or replace a wound you did not create. There were times you felt like you were standing in the present while he was still living partially in the past. You felt it when his attention drifted, when certain topics felt untouchable, when silence filled spaces where reassurance should have lived. Those moments left you feeling unseen, even when you were physically close. I know how lonely that kind of closeness can be. Hear me now with clarity and kindness. When someone cannot let go of their past, it is not a reflection of your worth but a reflection of their unresolved pain. You did not fail to be enough. You arrived with a full heart, ready to love and be loved. What you encountered was not a lack in you, but a battle within him that had not yet been faced. I know you questioned yourself. You wondered if you were asking for too much by wanting exclusivity of heart, not just words. But desiring a love that is fully present is not unreasonable. It is healthy. It is holy. I created love to be safe, not uncertain. I created connection to be mutual, not one-sided. My child, do not confuse potential with promise. Potential says, one day this could be whole. Promise says, this is whole now. You were holding on to what could be, while your heart needed what already is. That gap is where your pain lived. And I do not want you dwelling in that gap any longer. I see the tears you did not cry openly. I see the strength you displayed while quietly breaking inside. I see how you protected his feelings even while yours went unspoken. That kind of love is rare, but it should never be taken for granted. I am gathering every tear you shed in silence, and none of them are wasted. You are not weak for hoping. You are not foolish for believing. You are human, and your heart longs for connection. But now I am gently teaching you discernment alongside devotion. Love should not require you to ignore your intuition. Peace is not found in convincing yourself that pain is normal. There comes a time when waiting becomes self-betrayal. Not because you stop caring, but because you start honoring yourself. That time is not marked by anger or bitterness, but by clarity. And clarity is beginning to rise in you now, even if it feels uncomfortable. Stay with me in this unfolding. Let me guide you without fear. I am not taking love away from you. I am leading you toward a love that does not make you question where you stand. You are worthy of being chosen fully, freely, and without hesitation. And I am not finished speaking to your heart yet, my beloved child. I want you to notice how your heart feels when you stop defending what hurts you. There is a quiet relief there, even if it is mixed with sadness. That relief is not betrayal. It is truth rising gently to the surface. I have been leading you toward this awareness not to break you, but to free you. I know how often you replayed the good moments, holding them up as proof that the love was real. And it was real, in the way it could be. But love that cannot stand alone without comparison is love that is still entangled. You felt the warmth, yet you also felt the shadow. Both existed, and that contradiction confused you. Your heart tried to resolve it by hoping harder. But hope was never meant to carry the weight of unresolved attachment. My child, love should not feel like you are waiting for someone to arrive emotionally while they are already standing in front of you physically. You should not have to wonder if you are fully chosen today or just temporarily preferred. That constant uncertainty quietly erodes your sense of safety. I see how it wore you down, even when you told yourself you were fine. There is something I need you to understand deeply. Letting go is not the same as giving up. Letting go is an act of trust. It is saying, I trust that what is meant for me will not require me to be second to a memory. I am not asking you to stop caring. I am asking you to stop clinging to what cannot yet hold you properly. You have been loyal beyond measure. You stayed when clarity would have been easier. You loved when distance would have protected you. That loyalty speaks of your character, not your weakness. But loyalty without mutual commitment becomes a quiet form of self-neglect. And I love you too much to let you continue there. I know you feared that stepping back would mean losing everything you built. But what you built was carried mostly by you. Love is meant to be carried together. When only one person is doing the emotional labor, the structure eventually cracks. You did not imagine the imbalance. You lived it, my child. If he truly lets her go one day, that will be his healing journey, not something you can force by staying. Healing chosen freely is different from healing pressured by fear of loss. And until that healing happens, you deserve space to breathe without waiting. Do not measure your worth by someone else's readiness. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not difficult to love. You are simply aligned with a love that asks for wholeness. That alignment may cost you familiarity, but it will bring you peace. I am holding you as you loosen your grip. I am steadying you as you release expectations that kept you awake at night. You are not falling. You are being caught. There is life beyond this moment, and it is not lonely as you fear. It is clear. It is calm. It is honest. My beloved child, I know how unfamiliar this space feels, the space where you are no longer clinging, yet not fully free. It feels like standing between breaths. One part of you still remembers the warmth of what was promised, while another part is learning how to live without leaning on it. I am here in this in-between with you. You are not lost. You are transitioning. There were moments when you felt guilty for wanting more than he could give. You told yourself that love should be patient, that true devotion should wait, endure, understand. But love is not proven by how much pain you can tolerate. Love is revealed by how safe you feel being yourself. And safety was something your heart kept searching for. Even when you tried to convince yourself it was already there, I know how hard it was to accept that someone can care deeply and still not be ready. That truth is one of the most painful lessons of love. Readiness is not measured by affection, but by availability. A heart that is still holding on cannot fully open, no matter how sincere the words sound. You felt that limitation, and it hurt because you were ready to give fully, my child. You kept hoping for a moment when he would finally turn to you without hesitation, without shadows, without the past whispering in the background. You waited for certainty to arrive through time. But certainty does not arrive through waiting alone. It arrives through choice. And until someone chooses with clarity, love remains fragile. I want you to stop asking yourself what more you could have done. You showed up with honesty. You loved with purity of intention. You stayed when leaving would have been easier. There is nothing more you could have offered without losing yourself. The fact that it still felt incomplete is not a failure on your part. It is simply truth revealing itself. There is a quiet strength awakening in you now. It is the strength to accept reality without bitterness. It is the strength to release without hatred. It is the strength to say, I deserve a love that is present, without needing to prove anything. This strength is gentle, but it is unshakable. you may feel moments of grief for what could have been. Let yourself feel them. Grief is not a sign that you made the wrong choice, it is a sign that you cared deeply. I am not rushing you through this process. Healing does not demand speed. It only asks for honesty. I know you worry about the emptiness that might follow letting go. But hear me clearly now, emptiness is not your future. Space is. Space for peace. Space for clarity. Space for a love that does not ask you to wait while someone else decides what to do with their past. You are not walking away from love, you are walking toward alignment. Toward a place where your heart does not have to wonder if it is fully chosen. Toward a connection where presence is not a question, but a constant. I am preparing that space even now, whether you can see it yet or not. Rest in me tonight. Let your heart be quiet without fear. You do not need to solve everything today. Just know this, I am proud of you for listening to the truth inside you. I am gentle with your heart as it heals. And I am faithful to complete the work I have begun in you, my beloved child. Come and rest now. Let your heart lean fully into mine without fear, without questions pressing for answers tonight. You have walked through confusion, hope, disappointment, and awakening, and you are still standing. That alone tells a story of strength you may not yet recognize in yourself. But I see it clearly. I want you to know this with certainty, you were never forgotten in the waiting. Every tear you held back, every prayer you whispered without words, every moment you asked me silently to make sense of what you were feeling, I was there. I was not watching from a distance. I was carrying you through it, even when you felt alone. The love that promised you something but could not fully choose you was not meant to define your future. It was meant to teach you discernment, to awaken you to your worth, to show you that love should never leave you feeling unsure of your place. Some connections enter your life not to stay forever, but to reveal what you truly need and deserve. You may still feel tenderness when you think of him. That does not mean you are weak. It means your heart is real. Love does not disappear instantly just because clarity arrives. Be gentle with yourself in this season. Healing is not a straight line, and I am patient with every step you take. I want you to release the belief that you must be chosen by someone else to be complete. You are already chosen by me. Fully. Intentionally. Without reservation. There is no past I am clinging to, no comparison I am making, no hesitation in my love for you. I do not look at you and wonder. I look at you and know, the love I am leading you toward will not feel like waiting. It will not feel like guessing. It will not make you compete with memories or shadows. It will feel like peace. It will feel like clarity. It will feel like home. And until that love arrives in its time, I will be enough to steady your heart. Do not rush to close this chapter with force. Let it end naturally, with understanding rather than regret. You did your best with what you knew at the time. There is no shame in that. There is only growth. There is only wisdom gained through honesty. I am proud of you for listening to your heart instead of silencing it. I am proud of you for choosing truth over comfort, even when truth hurt. I am proud of you for loving deeply without becoming bitter. That kind of heart is rare. And I guard it carefully. Now, release the weight you were never meant to carry. Release the responsibility of fixing what was not yours to fix. Release the idea that waiting longer would have changed someone else's readiness. Place it all in my hands. I am gentle with what you entrust to me. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. And what you are becoming is someone who knows their worth, honors their peace, and no longer settles for love that cannot stand fully present. Stay with me. Walk forward without fear. I am already ahead of you, preparing what your heart has been longing for. And when love comes again, it will not ask you to wait while it looks back. It will meet you where you are and walk forward with you, hand in hand, without hesitation. Rest now, my child. You are safe. You are seen. You are deeply loved.